Leo was an engineer from Earth. He worked on a long-range explorer ship called Hope Runner. His job was to test unknown space routes and report back. On this trip, he was alone. His ship was moving through Sector 9, far away from any human. Planet, everything was normal until his screens blinked red. A strange wave of energy hit the ship. Lights flashed. The control system went dark. Leo tried to restart it, but nothing worked. The ship shook hard. Alarms screamed. He grabbed the safety belt and braced himself. The ship crashed. When Leo opened his eyes, everything was quiet. He was lying on soft grass. Above him, the sky was light purple with two suns shining. Strange trees with blue leaves surrounded him. Birds with four wings flew above. His head hurt, but he was alive. He sat up slowly. His suit was still working. A small screen on his wrist showed he had landed on a planet. The name was unknown. Oxygen was safe. Gravity was close to Earth. He looked around. His ship had crashed into a field nearby. The engine was smoking. Leo stood and walked toward the wreck. He checked the engine. It was broken badly. Without the main drive, he could not fly again. He sighed and sat on a rock. He was stranded as he rested. He heard soft footsteps behind him. He turned fast. What he saw made him freeze. A group of tall beings stood near the trees. They looked like women, but not human. Their skin was smooth and light blue. Their eyes were golden and large. Their hair was long, glowing faintly in the sun. They wore clothes made of leaves and shining cloth. They looked strong, calm, and curious. One of them stepped forward. She was taller than Leo, with silver markings on her arms. She raised her hand in peace and spoke slowly in a language he could not understand. Then she said one word he recognized. Leo blinked. He nodded. The women began to talk among themselves. Their voices were musical. One of them, with dark hair and a soft face, looked at Leo with surprise and wonder. She stepped closer and touched. His hand gently. "My name is Mira," she said in broken galactic common, the old trade language used across many planets. Leo replied slowly, "I am Leo. I come from Earth. My ship crashed." Mira turned to the others and spoke quickly. The other women listened, then nodded. Mira looked back at Leo. "You come with us," she said. "You are first man we see in many generations." Leo was confused. First man? He wanted to ask more, but his head still hurt. He followed them. They walked. Through glowing trees and wide fields. Strange animals ran in the distance. The path led to a village made of crystal buildings and floating lights. The houses were tall and round, with clear walls that shimmered in the sunlight. Other women stood outside, watching as Leo entered. Some gasped. Others whispered. Children ran forward to see him. They had the same blue skin and bright eyes. They had never seen a human man. Some smiled. Others just stared. Mira led Leo to a building. In the center, it looked like a temple or a hall. Inside, it was warm and quiet. She gave him a seat made of soft wood. Then she brought a drink in a crystal cup. Leo drank. It tasted like sweet fruit. He felt better. Mira sat beside him. "This world is called Valora," she said. "Many seasons ago, a sickness came. All men died. Only women lived." Leo was shocked. "All men gone?" Mira nodded. "Yes. We tried to find cure. We searched the stars, but no one came. Now we live in peace. But we remember." Leo looked around. Everything was clean and beautiful. The village had gardens, music, and laughter. But something was missing. The balance was broken. Mira said slowly, "Now you are here. You are different. The old story spoke of a time when a man from the stars would come. Some say you are that one." Leo shook his head. "I am just an engineer. I crashed here by accident." Mira smiled gently. "Maybe accident. Maybe fate." That night, Leo rested in a soft bed inside a crystal room. He looked at the twin moons in the sky. He thought of Earth, of space, of how strange this planet was. He did not know that his arrival had already changed everything on Valora. In every home across the village, women were speaking of him. Some saw hope. Some saw danger. Others saw a chance. Leo had no idea what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing. This was no ordinary planet, and he was no longer just a visitor. The morning on Valora was peaceful. Soft light passed through the crystal walls of Leo's room. He opened his eyes and heard music from outside. The sound was calm, made by strange wind instruments. Birds sang in high trees. The air smelled like sweet fruit and fresh leaves. Leo stepped out of his room and found Mira waiting. She smiled and handed him a light robe made from soft blue cloth. It was simple but comfortable. He wore it and followed her outside. In the village square, many women had gathered. Some came from nearby towns. Others had flown in on floating boats and small sky gliders. Their clothes were bright with colors. Their eyes were full of curiosity. They all looked at Leo as if he was a legend. Mira walked beside him and spoke quietly. News of you spread fast. Many thought men were gone forever. Now they see you, and their hearts remember. Leo felt the pressure. He had only wanted to survive and fix his ship. Now he was being watched like a miracle. He did not understand what they expected from him. He just nodded and kept walking. One of the village elders stepped forward. Her name was Talon. She had silver hair and a calm face. She welcomed Leo with a soft voice and raised hand. You are not a god. You are not a ruler. You are a visitor from the stars. But we believe your coming has meaning. Valora lost balance long ago. Your presence brings hope. Maybe a new path. Leo bowed his head in respect. I do not know what I can give. I only wish. To help where I can, Talon smiled. You are kind. That is enough for now. The crowd began to move. Some women came to offer gifts. One brought glowing fruit. Another gave him a crystal shell that sang when touched. A group of artists painted a picture of him standing beside Mira. But not all women came with peace. A tall woman stepped out from the back. She wore black armor and carried 2 long staffs. Her voice was strong. I am Zira, leader of the warrior path. I respect the stories, but I do not follow dreams. If this man is to walk among us, he must prove his strength, or at least his will. Leo stepped forward. I do not wish to fight, but I will not run from truth either. Zira looked into his eyes for a long moment. Then she nodded and turned away. Mira leaned close and whispered, She does not trust easily, but she protects us all. If she accepts you, others will follow. As the day passed, Leo began to learn more about Valora. The planet was rich with nature and energy. The people lived in harmony, using old knowledge passed down from elders. They had machines powered by light, gardens that grew in air, and buildings that changed shape during storms. There was no war, no greed, but there was also no growth. Without men, the people had lost part of their energy. Families were smaller. Hope for the future was fading. That night, Leo sat with Mira near a lake outside the village. The water glowed softly under the moonlight. Firelights floated in the sky above. Leo asked the question that had stayed in his mind all day. Why do they treat me like something special? I am just one man. Mira looked at the stars before answering. We did not choose this path. The sickness came fast and took all males. We tried to build a new life, and we did. But something is always missing. The songs feel half-finished. The homes feel too quiet. When you arrived, something in our hearts woke up again. Leo listened carefully. He understood now. It was not about power or control. It was about connection, about healing something lost long ago. Mira continued. Some believe you are a gift. Others see you as a chance to change the future. But many will want you for different reasons. Some kind, some selfish. You must be careful, Leo nodded. I will not promise what I cannot give, but I will stay for now. I want to learn. I want to help, Mira smiled. That is all we ask. As they sat in silence, a soft wind moved the trees. Leo felt calm but also unsure. The world was beautiful but strange. The people were kind but curious. He was alone on a planet where no man had walked for centuries, and now many eyes were on him. In the shadows of the trees, Zira watched from a distance. Her hand rested on her staff. Her eyes were sharp, but her heart was quiet. She had seen many things in her life, but never this. She would not trust him yet. But she would protect the village, even from this rare visitor if needed. The next day would bring more questions, more people, and more choices. Leo did not know what path waited for him, but he knew he could not turn back. The sun rose again on Valora, painting the sky with pink and gold. In the village, people were already awake. Soft music played in the air. The air smelled like flowers and fresh fruit, but the peaceful sound could not hide the excitement that had spread since Leo's arrival. Women from far cities had come. Some arrived on sky gliders, others came walking with gifts. They were tall, graceful, and proud. Their faces showed respect, but also something else, a quiet hunger. They had heard of the man from the stars, and now they wanted to see him with their own eyes. Leo stood near the garden with Mira. He saw the large group forming and felt nervous. His body was healed, and his mind was clear. But he was not ready. For what was coming, Mira spoke gently. These women are from other lands. Some are leaders. Some are healers. Some are warriors. They all came for one reason. Leo nodded. Mira gave a soft smile. Yes, they come because you are the only man. But also because they believe you carry a gift, a chance for something new. On Valora, we have a tradition. When one carries something rare, others may try to claim it. Leo looked confused. Claim? I am not an object. Mira nodded again. Of course not. But our old customs are different. Long ago, when mates were chosen, people showed their worth through acts, through kindness, skill, or strength. Now, that tradition has returned. Some may want to show they are worthy to stand beside you. Just then, a woman stepped forward from the crowd. She wore green robes with gold edges. Her eyes were bright blue. She bowed slightly. I am Rena, speaker of the Wind Hall. I offer music, peace, and vision. I wish to speak with the man from Earth. Another stepped up, wearing armor made from shining crystal. I am Valen, protector of the sky towers. I offer safety and courage. I, too, ask to meet him. One by one, more women came forward. A farmer, a builder, a teacher, a healer. Each one spoke kindly but firmly. They all asked for the same thing time. With Leo looked at Mira. His heart felt heavy. I didn't come here for this. I just want to help and learn, not become a prize. Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. You are not a prize, but you are a symbol now. People see something in you that we lost long ago. This is not about control. It is about hope. Then a familiar voice cut through the air. This is madness. It was Zira. She stepped out from the back of the crowd. Her eyes were sharp. Her voice was clear. He is one man, one crash. He could leave tomorrow. What will happen then? All your dreams vanish. Talon, the elder, stood from her seat. We cannot stop what people feel, Zira, but we can guide it. That is why we offer the heart trial. Leo turned to her. What is the heart trial? Talon explained. It is a peaceful way. Each who wishes to show herself will do so with her hands, her mind, or her heart. You will watch. You will listen. And at the end, you may choose one, many, or none. It is your will. Zira crossed her arms. or he could leave, and all this means nothing. Leo looked at the faces around him. So many hopes, so many dreams. He took a deep breath and spoke clearly. I do not promise anything. I do not belong to anyone, but I will take part. If it helps bring peace and understanding, I will listen. I will watch, and I will decide when. I am ready. There was silence for a moment. Then Talon nodded. So it will begin at dawn. The women began to prepare. Tents were set around the village fields. Small stages were built, spaces for music, cooking, building, and storytelling. It became a festival not of war, but of wonder. That evening, Leo walked alone through the growing camp. He saw a woman carving shapes from wood, another painting stars on silk, a third planting flowers in a circle. He felt strange. He was not special, yet all this had started because of him. He sat near the lake again. The moonlight shone on the water. He looked into the sky and whispered to himself, "What am I supposed to do now?" He heard a sound behind him. It was Zira. She sat beside him without a word. For a while, they watched the water. Then she spoke. "I still do not trust you." Leo nodded. "I know. But," she added, "I saw how you stood today. You did not run. You did not pretend. That counts for something." Leo looked at her. "You don't want to join the trial." Zira shook her head. "I do not perform. I protect. That is who I am. But I will be watching." Then she stood and walked away. Leo stayed at the lake a little longer. In the dark, with the stars above, he felt the weight of Valora on his shoulders. Tomorrow the trial would begin, and every woman would try to show what she carried in her heart. The first light of dawn touched the crystal towers of the village. Birds flew across the pink sky. The soft hum of music filled the air again. But today it felt different. A quiet energy moved through the people. The heart trial was about to begin. Leo stood at the edge of the wide field where the trial would take place. Tents and stages had been set up in a large circle. Around him, women from every part of Valora were preparing. They wore their finest robes. Some painted symbols on their arms. Others carried tools, books, or Artmira stood beside Leo. She wore a white robe with blue threads shaped like stars. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed worry. "This trial is not just for them," she said. "It is also for you. You will see not just what they offer, but who they truly are." Leo nodded. He was still unsure, but he had come this far. He would respect their way and try to understand. The trial began with music. A woman named Lari played a harp made from silver branches. Her notes floated in the wind and made the air feel lighter. People listened in silence. Then came Mira. She stepped onto a small platform and began to speak. She did not try to impress. She spoke about her life, about the day the sickness came, and how she helped her people survive. She spoke about how the stars gave her hope, and how she still believed in new beginnings. Leo watched her closely. Her words were simple, but strong. She did not try to claim him. She only wanted to be understood next. Came Rena, the speaker of the Wind Hall. She danced in circles, her hands moving like the breeze. Her voice sang a story about the old days of Valora, when balance was still strong. Her performance was beautiful, but Leo felt a distance in her eyes. Others followed. A healer made a plant grow from dry soil. A teacher showed drawings made by children, each one showing Leo standing beside them under the twin moons. A builder created a floating chair using magnets and light. Each act was different, each voice unique. Leo walked from stage to stage, listening, watching, learning. No one forced him, no one shouted. Every woman gave her truth and waited, but not everyone joined the trial. Zira watched from the far end of the field. She stood with the warriors but did not speak. Her arms were crossed. Her face showed no feeling. In the evening, food was shared. Long tables were set with fruit, grains, and soft drinks made from glowing roots. The people sat together, laughing and talking. The trial was not just about one man. It had become a moment of unity. Leo sat beside a young girl named Sari. She looked up at him with wide eyes. "Is it true that you came from the stars?" Leo smiled. "Yes, I came from a planet called Earth." Sari nodded. "Will you fly again?" Leo looked at the sky. "Maybe, but I think I will stay for now." Sari gave a happy laugh and ran off to play. Mira sat down beside him. She gave him a small wooden charm shaped like a leaf. "This is for balance," she said. "You do not have to choose yet. Just know that your time here matters." Leo turned the charm in his hand. "Do you want me to choose you?" Mira looked at him kindly. "I want what is best for you. If I am part of that, I will be thankful. If not, I will still walk beside you." That night, the people gathered around a fire. Songs were sung in many voices. Some were slow and deep. Others were fast and light. The fire danced, and so did the people. Leo felt something rise in his chest, a quiet feeling of belonging, not because of the attention, but because of the peace he saw in these people. They had pain. They had lost much. But they had found a way to live with hope. He walked away from the fire and found Zira watching the stars alone. "Why don't you join the others?" he asked. She did not look at him. "I do not need songs to know what." "I feel." Leo sat near her. "You think this trial is a waste?" Zira shook her head. "No. It has brought people together. That matters. But I do not show my heart in dance or music. I show it by standing when others fall. I protect what I care about. That is who I am." Leo looked at her with new respect. "You care about this place." Zira finally turned her eyes to him. "I care about the people, including you." Leo was silent. He understood her now. She did not try to impress him, because she was already showing her truth in her own way. The next morning, the final day of the trial arrived. No more performances, no more gifts, just silence and waiting. Talon, the elder, came to Leo. "You have seen their hearts. Now the choice is yours. But you are free. If you choose none, that is also a path." Leo looked at the faces around him. Mira, with her kindness. Rena, with her grace. Zira, with her strength. The healer. The teacher. The builder. So many women. So many lives. He stood in the center of the circle. His voice was clear. "I thank you all, not just for what you shared, but for who you are. I do not come to rule. I do not come to change your ways. I come to walk beside you, to learn, and to help if I can." He paused. "I will not choose one today, because I choose to be with all of you, not as a prize, not as a partner, but as a friend, as a brother, as a part of Valora." There was silence. Then, slowly, people began to smile. Mira nodded with pride. Zira crossed her arms, but her eyes were soft. The heart trial had ended. There was no winner, but something greater had begun. The day after the heart trial ended was calm at first. The sky was bright and clear. Leo woke early and walked to the village square. People were busy cleaning and fixing things. Children played near the water gardens. The peace was a welcome change after the excitement of the last days. Leo thought about his decision. He had said he would stay and be a friend to the people of Valora, but questions still filled his mind. What if he could not fix his ship? What if this world was not ready for change? As he walked, a strange sound came from the sky. A low hum, growing louder. Leo looked up. A large ship was entering the planet's orbit. It was not like any ship he had seen before. Dark metal covered its surface. Sharp edges and strange symbols marked its sides. Women stopped their work and looked skyward, fear and curiosity mixed in their eyes. Mira ran to Leo. "That ship is not from Earth," she said quickly. "It is from the rogue traders. They come to take what they want." Leo frowned. He remembered stories about rogue traders. They were known for stealing and selling rare things without care for others. If they wanted him, trouble was near the traders. Ship sent a message. The voice was cold and demanding. "Leo of Earth, surrender yourself. You are valuable. We will take you without fight." Leo's heart beat fast. He looked around at the people who had begun to gather. They were not warriors, but they would protect their home. Zira came forward, her armor shining in the sunlight. She raised her staffs and shouted, "We will not let you take him!" The traders laughed. "You are weak. We take what we want." Leo ran to his broken ship. He searched for parts. He found old batteries and energy cells. Using his knowledge, he connected wires and built a device. It was a signal jammer to block the traders' systems. It was not perfect, but it could slow them down. The traders began to send small ships to land near the village. Women and children moved quickly to hide. Zira led a group of warriors to stand in front of the landing area. They held their staffs, ready. The first small ship landed. A large man stepped out. His skin was dark and his eyes were sharp. He smiled cruelly. "You cannot stop us." Zira met him calmly. "Try us." The fight began. The warriors used their staffs to block and strike. The traders had weapons, but the warriors were fast and clever. The village became a battlefield of light and movement. Leo worked quickly with the jammer. He pressed buttons and watched the traders' ships slow down. Their systems blinked and failed. One trader ship exploded in the sky. Others lost control and crashed in the forest. The traders tried to retreat. Mira led a group to help the injured and protect the children. Leo stood beside Zira, feeling strong even though he was not a fighter. The traders finally left. Their ship limped away into the stars. The village was safe. Women cheered and hugged each other. Leo felt a new respect. He was not just a visitor anymore. He was part of Valora's story that night. The village gathered around a great fire. Talon spoke to the people. "Today we stood together and won. Today we showed that even without men, Valora is strong. But now we see that strength grows when we stand with others." Leo looked at Mira and Zira. They were tired, but proud. The battle had changed something inside them all. Leo spoke quietly. "I did not come here to fight. But I will fight to protect this home, to protect you." Mira smiled softly. "And we will fight with you." The stars shone bright above Valora. A new chapter had begun. The world without men had found its defender. The days after the battle were quiet, but filled with careful thoughts. Valora's people worked to repair what was broken. The forests were cleaned of debris. The village returned to its peaceful rhythm. Yet, beneath this calm, Leo felt the weight of the choice before him. The High Council had gathered in the Great Hall. Their crystal walls shimmered in the soft light. Mira sat among them, speaking for the people. The council waited for Leo's decision. One morning, Leo was called to the hall. His heart beat fast. He wore a simple robe. He walked through the tall doors and saw the faces of the elders. They looked at him with respect and patience. Talon spoke first. Her voice was soft but firm. "Leo, you have lived with us for many days. You have seen our lives and shared our trials. Now the council asks, will you stay on Valora or return to your world?" Leo took a deep breath. His mind went to Earth, the stars, and the people he left behind. But his heart stayed with Valora, with Mira, with the women who had opened their lives to him. He looked around the hall and spoke slowly. "I came here by chance. I never expected this journey. I see now that Valora is not just a world of blue skies and glowing trees. It is a home, a place of hope and strength. He paused and met Mira's eyes. I do not wish to be a ruler or a prize. I want to be a friend and a helper. I want to walk beside you and your people. If you accept me, I will stay, the council murmured softly. Mira smiled warmly. Zira stood behind her, arms crossed but eyes gentle. Talon nodded and said, Your choice is wise, Leo. Valora will welcome you as one of our own. But know this, your time here will not be easy. You will face new challenges, but you will never be alone. Leo felt relief and hope. He had found a new home, not by chance, but by choice. That day, the people celebrated. Music filled the air, stories were told around fires, children danced with joy. Leo felt the warmth of belonging later. Mira came to him with a small gift, a pendant shaped like a star, made from crystal and silver. She placed it around his neck. This is a symbol of trust and friendship, she said softly. Wear it with pride. Leo touched the pendant and smiled, I will. Days turned into weeks. Leo learned more about Valora's ways. He helped rebuild machines and taught children about Earth. He trained with Zira in defense and strength. They sparred. In the fields, learning from each other, Zira was tough but fair. She taught him how to read the winds, move silently, and use the staffs with skill. Leo was not a warrior, but he grew stronger and more confident. Mira remained by his side. She was a guide and friend. Together they walked through forests, studied stars, and shared stories of their worlds. Leo felt a deep peace. He was no longer a stranger. He was part of Valora's future. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Leo stood on a hill overlooking the village. The lights below twinkled like stars. He thought of Earth, but smiled. He was ready for whatever came next. Valora had no men for many years. Now it had one. Not a ruler, but a friend. Not a savior, but a partner. And together, they would face the stars. The soft light of dawn spread over Valora once more. The village was calm, but full of life. Leo walked through the crystal paths, feeling the cool air on his skin. This world was no longer strange to him. It had become home since the day he decided. To stay, many things had changed. The people of Valora accepted him not as a ruler or a prize, but as one of their own. Leo did not choose a single partner, for he believed in friendship and respect for all. Mira was his closest friend and guide. She taught him about the history of Valora and shared her dreams for the future. Zira, the warrior, trained with him daily. Together, they grew stronger. Learning from each other's worlds, Leo helped rebuild the village. Using his knowledge from Earth, he designed new machines that used light and wind to power homes. He taught children about the stars beyond Valora. The children loved his stories and called him Star Brother. In the evenings, Leo sat with groups of women around the fire. They sang songs and shared tales of old times. Some spoke of the past sadness when men disappeared. Others talked of hope and new beginnings. One night, under the glow of the twin moons, Mira spoke softly. You have changed Valora more than you know, Leo. Your kindness has healed old wounds. You remind us that strength is not only in body, but in heart. Leo smiled. I have learned much here, from you all. I did not come to lead, but to listen, to walk beside you, not ahead. Zira joined them, her face softer than before, and you have taught me that trust can grow in many ways. We all have a part to play. Together we are stronger. The people of Valora began to rebuild their lives with new hope. Farms grew larger. Music filled the skies. New festivals celebrated unity and peace. The legend of the man from the stars spread. Across the villages, Leo often looked at the stars, remembering Earth. He thought of his family and friends, but knew his path was here now. He was not alone anymore. One day, a new ship landed on Valora. It was a peaceful vessel from a nearby star system. The captain came to meet Leo and the leaders. They talked about trade, friendship, and shared knowledge. Valora's place in the galaxy was growing. Leo knew challenges would come, but he was ready. With Mira, Zira, and the people of Valora beside him, he felt hope for the future. The planet that once had no men now had one who was not a savior but a friend, a builder, and a brother, and that was enough.